Keep everything inside the blue handrails. No tobacco products, including e-cigarettes.
Yes.
No running up and down the aisles. Yes. Hey, we do have enough no tobacco products, including e-cigarettes. We do have enough life jackets at the front of the boat for everybody should we need them. However, our record has shown we've never needed them, so I think we're good to go. And anyways, 3 to 5 feet of water, you might just want to walk out anyway. My name's David. We'll be together about 35 minutes. 2.5 miles. If you have any questions, please keep it to yourself. Feel free to ask at any time. Hope you weren't expecting no old fuddy-duddy. Hey, straight ahead of the boat, going around the bend on my left is La Baita, the little village, originally housing for Spanish soldiers back in the early 1700s. The two buildings on my left here, the Little Rhine Steakhouse and the Fig Tree Restaurant, both of those were homes of early German settlers in the 1850s. Today, La Baita is a little village of arts and craft shops open to the public, about 30 of them. Here at the base of La Baita is the Arneson River Theater, with seating for 800 on my left. The stage is on my right, was in a very popular movie several years ago. And see if you recognize the stage. And above the stage are 5 very important bronze bells. These 5 bronze bells above the stage here are for the first 5 Taco Bells in San Antonio. No? Did everybody buy that? Really?
No.
How about that? No, they're not. They're for the first 5 original Spanish missions. Yeah, that's what they're for. Anybody recognize the stage? Was in the movie Miss Congeniality, starring Sandra Bullock. Back to the 5 bells and the 5 missions. We have a beautiful missions trail in San Antonio, 12 miles long. You can hike it, bicycle it, or drive it, and see all 5 original Spanish missions. 4 of them still have mass on a regular basis. The only one that does not is the Alamo Museum. On my right here, the Texas Longhorn cattle sit in front of the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Originally, San Antonio City Public Library from 1930 to 1968. Then for many years, this was a circus museum. And then restored, remodeled, opened as the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Inside, you'll find paintings, sculptures, saddles, spurs, Santa Anna's sword, and Pancho Villa's last known saddle. All around the Riverwalk here, we have beautiful cypress trees. When we come out from underneath this bridge, we'll be surrounded by them. Some of our cypress trees on the Riverwalk are over 200 years old. However, 11,700 of them were planted all around the Riverwalk back in 1939 when they began construction on the Riverwalk. As a matter of fact, the small island on my right here with the black metal sculpture, it's made up of the roots of this beautiful cypress tree. And the black metal sculpture called Father Massenet's Table was put here on the island in 1991 in remembrance of the mass he did on the river in 1691. And we call this Marriage Island. Many weddings are performed on the island every year. On my right, all lit up by the tree, is the Old Mill Crossing mural. And the Nevada Street Bridge here goes right over the Old Mill Crossing. Back in the 1800s, we did not have grocery stores. So if you had grain that needed to be ground into flour, you'd bring it here to the Nat Lewis Mill. And this was the most popular wagon crossing of the 1800s. Here the river is shallow, flat, hard packed, and the wagoners did not have to unload and reload their wagons to cross the river. Straight ahead of the boat, all lit up, is not a church. That's the Bexar County Courthouse. Opened in 1896, it's one of the longest continuously operating courthouses in Texas. To my left here, high up in the sky, with the flag flying beautifully above it, is the Tower Light Building. It opened in 1929, 30 stories, 404 feet high. It's the only octagon or 8-sided high-rise in the United States of America. At the top, sticking out from the roof, are what we call gargoyles. Gargoyles are either ugly animals or ugly humans that are part of the roof draining system. The water runs off the roof, out the mouths of the gargoyles, and falls into a water filtration system. Below the windows here, you might say these faces look gross. It's because they're called grotesque, and the window trim is done in a neo-Gothic architectural form. On my right here is the Homewood Suites Hotel from 1919 to 1963. This was the San Antonio Drug Company, now the Homewood Suites Hotel. Speaking of hotels, right above us here we see lots of pigeons because this is Hotel de Pigeon. I have my hat on. You want to stop and take pictures? right here, keep going. On my right here is the International Commerce Building from 1968 to 98. This was the San Antonio City Public Library. And now it houses offices for the governments of the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and also the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hey, as we go by, you'll notice that water runs into the basement of this facility. It's one of two working marinas in our park. We park our boats here at night. I'm going to honk my horn. The green light in front of us, this is floodgate number 4. The green light tells me that the floodgate number 4, which is below the water here, is completely down and safe for passage. San Antonio River naturally flows through this floodgate to my left for 138 miles, where it joins the Guadalupe River for 10 and flows out into the Gulf of Mexico. This is floodgate 4. Floodgate 5 is behind us. We can't see it, it's dark. It's closed and maintains the level of the water in our park. At floodgate 5, there's a 15 to 20 foot drop off. That's why I decided we would go this way. High and to my right here with the colorful lights above it is the Drury Plaza Hotel. Back in 1929, that was the Alamo Bank building. We just came out of what is called the River Bend area. That's where you got on the boat at, in the River Bend area. Back in 1921, they had a very serious flood in the River Bend area, claimed at least 50 lives that they know of, and did millions of dollars in property damage. So between 1926 and 29, they dug out this man-made portion of the river here, called the Flood Bypass Control Channel. Here is the only deep part of the water, the river. The water here is 15 to 20 feet deep. And they put in floodgates 3, 4, and 5. So now if there's a potential flood, they'll close floodgates 3 and 4 to the River Bend area, open floodgate 5 behind me. The water comes rushing through here, sparing the River Bend area. On my right, all along here, is a beautiful sidewalk. It allows people, pedestrians, to walk through the Flood Bypass Control Channel. And this sidewalk was donated to the city of San Antonio by the Drury Plaza Hotel. On my left here is Main Plaza. As we go by, you'll see some stairs. Allow your eyes to follow the stairs to the building in the background. The building in the background is the San Fernando Cathedral. Main Plaza is the oldest municipality in Texas, established in 1731, and that's the year that they completed the San Fernando Cathedral. Tonight at 9, 9:30, and 10 o'clock, they'll have 3 30-minute laser light shows on the face of the San Fernando Cathedral about San Antonio. Straight ahead of the boat about, what's that? 9, 9:30, and 10. Yes, ma'am. Straight ahead of the boat about 4 miles north of here is the Incarnate Word University campus. On that campus is a spring from which the San Antonio River originates. That spring is fed by the Edwards Underground Aquifer, which is an underground limestone lake, 180 miles long, 5 to 30 miles wide. In some parts of the aquifer, they've never found the bottom. It's that deep. And the aquifer supplies the San Antonio metropolitan area. The cypress tree straight in front of the boat here is one of our cypress trees, over 200 years old. Back in 1835, the Spanish soldier that was a sniper climbed this tree, shot a Texan named Ben Milam. It's been called the Ben Milam tree ever since. Right above us here is floodgate number 4. It's a pocket door style gate, weighs 3 tons or 6,000 pounds. Takes 15 minutes to completely lower and 15 minutes to completely raise. Now we're back in the River Bend area and the natural flow of the San Antonio River, where the water is only 3 to 5 feet deep. On my left here is the Drury Inn and Suites Hotel. As we go by, please allow your eyes. Please look at the chandeliers inside this building. Back in 1921, the floodwaters were above these chandeliers.
Wow.
Some of our streets were covered by as much as 9 feet of water. You could be standing on the St. Mary's Street Bridge here in front of us and still have water 3 to 4 feet over your head.
Wow.
Yep, back in 1921, very serious flood. When we get around this green tree on my right, you'll see the Aztec Theater. Opened in 1926 as a silent movie theater. And the builders wanted to give moviegoers a larger-than-life experience, so they gave it the Aztec theme. And today it's the only Aztec-themed theater in Texas. Above the theater here, we have an Aztec goddess. Some people claim that that's an Aztec goddess. Other people claim that that is Lady Gaga. Straight in front of us is the Selena Bridge. Back in 1997, they produced the Selena movie here.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez was the star. This bridge and Jennifer Lopez were in the movie. When they completed the movie, the bridge stayed. Jennifer and her money left. High to my right side here, the light-colored building is the Mokar Hotel and Spa. From 1901 to 1923, it was the L. Frank Wholesale and Retail Saddle and Harness Company. By the time World War I broke out, they had 500 employees and were servicing all 3 French, British, and American armies with saddles and harnesses. Give it a thought, folks. 100 years ago, we're all still riding horses. Yeehaw! On my left, here's the Omni La Mansión del Rio Hotel. Back in 1853, this was St. Mary's all-boys school. It evolved into the St. Mary's School of Law. They outfitted the campus here, moving to the west part of San Antonio. And this opened as a hotel in 1968. And the foyer of this hotel is a part of the original 1853 structure.
Wow.
If you're taking pictures, be ready immediately. After we come out from underneath the bridge here, you're going to look directly to my left and straight up. Directly to my left and straight up at an optical illusion. And here we are, right here. What appears to be a freestanding wall. This is the Nix Hospital. Opened in 1930 as San Antonio's first full-service hospital. It was the first hospital in the United States of America to have central air conditioning. 86 years later, still a full-service hospital offering services from Band-Aids to surgery. If you recognize the name Carol Burnett, she was born in the Nix Hospital. Straight ahead of the boat here is the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Opened in 1981. However, before they could begin construction, they had to do shadow testing. They did not want to cast a shadow on the Alamo at sunset, so after the testing was done, they limited this hotel to 16 stories. So now if the sun is shining, it sets daily on the sacred Alamo. Coming around the bend here, above the glass doors of the Hyatt Regency Hotel, it says the Dock de Paseo del Alamo, which means passageway to the Alamo. This is a beautiful atrium with waterfalls, fountains, streams, and plants. And if you go straight through this atrium, right across the street, it takes you directly to Alamo Square and the Alamo Museum. High into the front right side of the boat here, the 6-story red brick building, is the Casino Club. Opened in 1927 as a private club, built by the German business community. Today, on my right here, the Casino Club, the bottom 2 floors house restaurants and shops. The top 4 floors are apartments. They're apartments, and if you'd like to rent one of those, you're more than welcome to if you don't mind being on a 6-year waiting list. This part of the river here is called River Square, renovated in 1972. Here we have a variety of restaurants that offer inside and riverside dining. And if you'd like to have dinner on one of our boats, you can ask any one of these restaurants about that, or go to the website on your ticket stub. As we go through here, you'll see lots of ducks on the water here. We have lots of ducks on the river. They eat a lot of food year round. But that's okay, folks. Everything they eat, we put it on their bill. And my wife, too, is waiting for me to grow up, but if I do, I'll get old. On the front right side of the boat here with the circular balcony is the Clifford Building. On the balcony is the name Robert Hugman. He was the architect of the Riverwalk and the first one to have an office right here on my right at river level back in 1941 at the completion of the park. His plans for the Riverwalk were approved in 1929. However, that was the year the stock market crashed, and so construction did not begin on the Riverwalk until 1939, completed in 1941. On my right here with the colorful umbrellas is Casaríos. We call them the pioneers of river dining and boating. They were the first restaurant on the river back in 1946, and back then they gave their customers boat rides. My wife and I have been eating at this restaurant for a little over 35 years. My wife and I, we've been married for a little over 35 years. I've lived in San Antonio a little over 35 years. And I'm just a little over 35. Love entertaining myself. Yeah. Now back to the tour. Right now we're leaving the natural flow of the San Antonio River. The San Antonio River is a natural river, not man-made. And the Riverwalk is built around the natural flow of the San Antonio River. This part of the river here, however, is man-made. We call it the man-made extension. It was made back in the 1960s to accommodate the 1968 Hemisphere World's Fair. And they used the extension back in 1968 to boat people back and forth between the Riverwalk and the fairgrounds, which today we call Hemisphere Park. Today we use this extension to boat people back and forth between the Riverwalk and the Convention Center, the Riverwalk and River Center Mall, and for our boat tours. On my left here is the Chamber of Commerce building. If you're thinking about moving to San Antonio or starting a business here, they'll be more than happy to accommodate you any way possible and answer any questions you might have. Speaking of moving, our city is expecting 1 million additional people to move into San Antonio between now and the year 2030. Straight in front of the boat, high in the sky, red letters, red lights, green lights, says Marriott. That's the Marriott Hotel, opened in well, a matter of fact, back in 1985, before they could begin construction on this hotel, they had to move the hotel that sat there. The hotel that sat there was the Fairmont Hotel. It opened in 1906, had a historical designation. Therefore, they could not demolish the hotel and haul it off. They literally had to haul it off all in one piece. So they jacked up the Fairmont Hotel, all three-story brick building, 3,200,000 pounds. Strapped it with metal straps, put it on dollies and air-filled tires, inching it through the streets of San Antonio for 6 days, back between March the 30th and April the 4th, 1985. Back then, setting a Guinness Book of World Records for being the largest structure moved through city streets on air-filled tires. Wow. Took them 6 days to move it. They moved it about 6.5 blocks to where it sits right now on the corners of South Alamo and Nueva Streets, about 2.5 blocks south of the Alamo. The hotel is 110 years old, fully functioning, fully operating. You can make reservations and spend the night at the historic Fairmont Hotel.
You're pulling our leg, right?
No, that's a documented fact. About the Fairmont Hotel? No, besides my jokes, the whole speech has been given to us by the city of San Antonio. I'm not going to deny it. I'm giving you the script that the city gave us. And I've heard that you can go on YouTube and YouTube the movie of the Fairmont Hotel back in 1985. Hey, this is a taxi right here on my left here with the flags on it. On the front, it'll say Rio Taxi. Hey, you can buy an all-day $16 pass on and off as much as you want, and that taxi will take you about 2 miles north of what we call the Pearl, and that was an old brewery that's been turned into shops and restaurants. And you'll go through a lock and dam with that $16 pass. It's good from the time you buy it till 9 o'clock when we close that day that you buy it. Back here is the convention center, opened in 1968 for the 68 Hemisphere World's Fair. The convention center was named after Henry B. Gonzalez. He was the first American Hispanic voted into the House of Representatives. He served from 1961 to the late 1990s. On my right is some construction. I'll talk about that on the way back. However, as a part of the tour, high and to my left here is a beautiful mural. If you don't get your pictures now, we'll be coming right back. You'll get another chance. The mural is 130 feet long, 22 feet high. It's made up of approximately 400,000 one-inch stone tiles, 11 different colors. 10 of those colors are all natural stones. The blue glazed ones are not. And those stones were imported from 7 different countries. The name of the mural is The Confluence of Civilization, and that was the theme of the 1968 Hemisphere World's Fair. Confluence means coming together, bringing together, and back then they were celebrating the relationship that the United States has with Latin American countries. This back here is what we call the Convention Center Lagoon. Beautifully lit up tonight. This is beautiful. And straight in front of the boat's a beautiful breezeway. If you go straight through this breezeway, it'll take you directly to Hemisphere Park, Tower of Americas, and the Institute of Texan Cultures.
I don't think we can go straight through.
Yeah, we ain't going straight through this one. Speaking of the convention center, conventions are a major source of income for the city of San Antonio. Several years ago, they added 440,000 square feet to the convention center. Last year in 2015, they added even more. And right now, our convention center sits right at 1,600,000 square feet. And last year, we had our largest convention ever, right at 70,000 participants. Seventh-day Adventists came to town. We're going to change the tour up just a little bit right now. Well, Pilgrim, we're getting ready to go through a narrow pass. When we do, we might have a bump or two, and all you have to do if we do, Pilgrim, is raise your hands and go, yeehaw! Looking good so far. Little bump right here. Well, not bad for your first time, Pilgrim. How many pilgrims do we have on the boat for the very first time here in San Antonio? Welcome, it's good to have you all. Hope y'all are having a good time. Hey, if you think your boat captain's a little crazy, it's okay, it's all right. My kids go, Dad, you're crazy. I just tell them it helps. Who do you think drove me this way? Folks, this time as we go by the mural, it's going to be on my right-hand side. And you'll notice that it says on the Lila Cockrell Theater building, when we get up here to it. Lila Cockrell was San Antonio's very first female mayor. The citizens really liked her. They voted her in for 4 consecutive terms. She served from the late 70s to the mid-1990s. And last year we voted in our second female mayor, Mayor Ivy Taylor. On my left here, the construction, they tore down an older part of the convention center. They're expanding Hemisphere Park. They're putting in a 2,000-seat outdoor amphitheater right there. And this is where San Antonio does its fireworks every year. On the 4th, July 4th and the 1st. Right above us here is the Market Street Bridge. Back in 1985, I told you about the Fairmont Hotel, all £3,200,000 pounds. In order to get to its new location, had to cross right over this bridge. In order to do that, they completely drained the river of water, gave this bridge a lot of support from underneath, and after watching it for very closely for several hours, it made it across safe and sound back in 1985. Setting the Guinness Book of World Records, largest structure of Worcester City streets on air-filled tires. Straight across the river, in between 2 palm trees, right now you'll see a statue. That statue is of San Antonio de Padua. It was donated to the city of San Antonio during the 1968 Hemisphere World's Fair by the country of Portugal because San Antonio de Padua was of Portuguese descent. Back in 1691, missionaries came through San Antonio. When they came through on the feast day of San Antonio. So they named the newly discovered river in honor of him, and our river has had its name for over 325 years. And this part of the river here is called the River Center Mall Extension. It was built in the 1980s to accommodate the River Center Mall here. Back here is the River Center Mall, opened in 1988. We're right in the middle of the mall right here. It's the only mall in San Antonio built around a lagoon and a river. If you love to shop, you'll love this mall. Over 1 million square feet of shopping experience to be had here. We've got a beautiful lagoon area back here. Earlier today they had live music, some Indian flutists. They've been playing their flutes here for over 22 years. But a lot of people love to come back here, hang out with friends and family. Lots of food and drink back here. In front of the boat, inside the mall, is a food court. We have restaurants on both sides of the river here. Ghirardelli's chocolate, marble slab ice cream. Great place to hang out and relax.
You scream.
Yeah,
we all scream for ice cream.
Inside the mall here is the IMAX Theater. They have daily showings of the Battle of the Alamo. It's a reenactment of the battle. Very good movie, very informative, only 48 minutes long. If you have an opportunity to see the Battle of the Alamo, I recommend you do it. They built the IMAX Theater specifically just for showing the Battle of the Alamo. If you have not seen an orange tree before, there's one right above us here with several oranges on it. Despite what they say, oranges, they're not made in a minute. Someone finally got it. Hey, as soon as we come out from underneath the bridge here, will be right under a lemon tree loaded with lemons. They're turning yellow now. Right above us here is a lemon tree. No, them neither. No Minute Maid lemons or oranges.
What I'm done.
Hey, if you're taking pictures, be ready when we come out from underneath the bridge here in front of me. The picture's going to be on my left. Just before we go under this bridge, on my left, through the trees, you'll see the round Tower of America all lit up. Christmas colors.
Oh yeah, right there.
And when we come out from underneath the bridge here, it's going to be in the open. And the best picture of the Tower of Americas is the one with me in it. I'm not conceited or prideful, I'm just good looking.
There.
Is that what your mama No. I'm not going to say what she told me or the doctor said when I was born. The Tower of America is 622 feet high, 64 stories. At the top of the Tower of Americas is a restaurant and an observation deck. The restaurant revolves at the rate of 1 revolution per hour, and the observation deck does not revolve. And you can get up the tower one of two ways, either by one of the 3 exterior glass elevators, or if you'd like, you can take the stairwell of only 954 steps. If I started today, you can come back for me next November. High and to my right through the trees here is going to be a church steeple. This is St. Joseph's Church. They laid the cornerstone of this church back in 1868. Inside the church are some beautiful stained glass windows imported from Munich, Germany. Those windows are no longer available. The glass manufacturer was destroyed during World War II. Also in the church are some beautiful paintings painted by the 3rd pastor of the church, Father Henry Peppercorn. And if you're interested in a German Mass, 4th Mass of every month is in German. If you'd like to view the paintings in the windows, the church is open to the public just on the other side of the Chamber of Commerce building here on Commerce Street. The last point of my tour, just before we go under the bridge here, looking high and to my left, you'll see it says the Hilton Palacio del Rio Hotel, high and to my left. This is a modular hotel. It's just 1 square room stacked right on top of the other. Back in 1968, this hotel set a Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest built modular building of its time. They built this 485 room hotel. They built it in less than 7 months. Actually in 202 working days. They built all 485 rooms off-site at the HP Jackie construction site 8 miles south of San Antonio. Not only did they construct the rooms there, they also fully furnished them. Beds, bedding, dresser, mirror, microwave, refrigerator. Everything they needed in that room was in it except for one item. That was the TVs. Then they put the rooms on semi-flatbed trailers, brought them to the site here, put them in place with cranes, and once the rooms were installed on site, then they installed the TVs. Don't worry about it, they got TVs in there. Where's my TV? Where's my TV? Yep, Guinness Book of World Records. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed the tour tonight. Did y'all enjoy it? Yeah! All right, thank you. Please remain seated while I dock and tie off the boat. Hey, look around. Please gather all your things. If you do happen to leave something on the boat, it's not a problem. Hey, feel free to look for it on eBay in the morning. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. My name is David. Just for a job well done, our drivers, we appreciate your tips. Please remain seated. Thank you. What's that? Oh yeah, good tips. What? Every 2 to 3 years in January.